This is a video for the Mormons who, for better or worse, are apparently growing up and existing in an entirely different Mormon church than the one I grew up in. Let's start with dress standards, because I feel like that's one of the ones that hurt me and other young women the most. Oh, and let me also say, I'm only 30, so it's not like this was like 50 years ago and I'm so old, so of course it's changed since then. I was in Young Women's less than 15 years ago. Okay, so in the Mormon church that I grew up in, tank tops were not okay. You were not allowed to show your shoulders. And short shorts, dresses, skirts, anything like that, if it was more than like an inch or two above your knee, that was immodest and not okay. And by the way, this wasn't just a my parents thing. This was my whole ward. This was my bishop, my young women's leaders, my grandparents, my whole family. And it wasn't them either that was making that up. That was like in the pamphlets that the church distributed to us. It was in the talks that we were hearing from the prophet and the apostles. So no, it wasn't a my parents were strict thing. It was church-wide. It was community-wide. It was accepted. If you were wearing a tank top, people would ask you if everything was okay. Another one is two-piece swimsuits. Oh my gosh. Mormons these days can wear a string bikini and nobody bats an eye. They can post it on Instagram and nobody cares. It's like normal. And I've seen that even within like my own family. And I'm like, what? In my time in the church, if you showed up to a church activity that was swimming and you were wearing a two-piece, even if it was a tankini that like showed this much of your stomach, they would give you a t-shirt to wear over top of it because that was too immodest. I'm so jealous of you guys. So you should be really thankful that you apparently live in a Mormon church where it's okay to dress normal and show your shoulders and wear short shorts and stuff, because we did not have that. Oh, and crop tops? Absolutely not. Like, absolutely not. Okay, another thing that apparently doesn't matter anymore is piercings. You were allowed to have one pair of earrings in your earlobes if you were a girl. Men were not allowed to have earrings at all. But like a nose piercing, any of these extra ones down here, not okay. And again, that's not something that my parents made up because they were strict. That was something that we got like pamphlets from the church about. It was something we read in church magazines, something that was emphasized in general conference, stuff like that. So if you are living in a Mormon church where it's okay to have more piercings, what does it feel like to be God's favorite? I didn't get that privilege. Coffee, the nectar of the gods. This was actually evil when I was growing up in the church. Drinking coffee is a sin that you'd probably have to like talk to your bishop about. Like, I put coffee on the same level as drugs. That's how bad coffee was. And now sometimes I see young Mormons in my comments being like, it doesn't matter. I drink coffee and I'm a Mormon. And I'm like, oh my God, what would that have been like? You are so lucky. You should be so grateful. Like, it was so bad during like my generation and my time in the church that I thought I was a bad person in high school because I liked the smell of coffee. But here's something that I feel like was easier when I was a member of the Mormon church. Our churches are so different in these last 15 years that it's not even okay for you to call yourself a Mormon anymore. When I was a member of the Mormon church, it was still the Mormon church, and I was still a Mormon. But now I get comments from Mormons all the time being like, it's not Mormon, it's the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. It comes across really sanctimonious, but I'll give it to you because I understand my time in the church was different than your time in the church. So you can have your Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and I'll have my Mormon church. But here is something that I think is really great about the fact that the church changes so much in short periods of time. I think the members have a lot more power than they think they do. I think that the members of the Mormon church have a lot of power over what is an actual enforced rule within the Mormon church, because like I said, over time, over this short period of time, it's changed so much just because the members have decided to stop conforming to these arbitrary rules. It's not because like the prophet has come out and said drinking coffee is okay and tank tops are okay and nose piercings are okay. That has changed because the members have been like, but I want coffee. but I want to have a nose piercing, but I want to wear short shorts. So they do. And at this point, nobody really even bats an eye anymore. And this is demonstrated by the fact that 50 to 75 years ago, these were not okay in the Mormon church. Playing cards. The prophet and apostles at the time made a huge deal about how this was just a gateway to gambling and you should not do it. And if you have playing cards in your house, that is evil. All of this to say, you have the power. And I'm so happy for you. I am so happy there are Mormons or members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints who are living their most authentic, happy lives without fear and shame and guilt about these stupid, arbitrary little rules that really don't matter or hurt anybody. And I'm jealous. I'm jealous that you got to live your life in the church that way. That wasn't my experience, but I'm happy for you. And I hope that you continue doing that. And I hope you continue making a difference and making the church a happier place for people to be.